Have you ever been told, stop wasting money on rent? You need to buy that house? What if the advice is quietly destroying your chances of actually living your dream life? The travel, the time freedom, and the ability to say no to work. In this video, you'll see why do not buy the house can be the most profitable decision in your life, and how to build wealth without getting handcuffed to a 30 years mortgage. Stay with us, because by the end, you'll have a step-by-step game plan you can actually copy and paste onto your own finances. Let's start with the uncomfortable question. If somebody asks you, describe your ideal life in detail, what would you say? Most people would mumble something like freedom, less stress, travel more. That sounds nice, but it's useless for making real money decisions. Instead, imagine you describing it like this. I work 3 to 4 days a week, not 6. I take 6 weeks of travel a year. Business class on long flights. I live in a walkable neighborhood 15 minutes away from my friends. I never have to check my banking app before saying yes to dinner. Now money has a job. Now you can ask, will this decision make me move forward or away from that life? Here's the kicker. When you look at most people's banking account, their biggest expenses are a huge mortgage or plans to get one, car payments, debts. They say they want freedom and flexibility, but the numbers scream lock me in for 30 years. This video is about fixing that mismatch. To build a rich life without obsessing over every single dollar and being frugal, use this simple 4-bucket system. Take your take-home pay, the money that actually lands in your bank account, and aim to divide it by roughly like this. 50 to 60% goes into rent or mortgages, utilities, groceries, cars, and minimum debt payments, phones, internet, and then keep 5 to 10% for emergency funds, short-term goals like trips next year's or a new laptop, and then another 5 to 10% on investments. This is long-term wealth investments like index funds, retirement accounts, and long-term ETFs. And then 20 to 35% on guilt-free spendings. For example, like restaurants, travels, hobbies, your new phone, gym, a night out. This is where life actually makes you feel better. And then tonight, try pulling up 1 month of your transactions. Throw every dollar into these 4 buckets and then ask yourself, are my fixed costs suffocating everything else? Am I actually investing for my future me? Do I have any guilt-free money, or do I just feel bad every time I tap my credit card? You don't need the perfect percentage on day one. You just need to see the truth on paper so you can start moving in the right direction. Now let's talk about home ownership. The story you've been told is renting is throwing money away. Real adults buy homes. Real wealth comes from properties. But here's what nobody tells you. When you buy, you're not just paying for the mortgage. You're also on the hook for property taxes, maintenance and repairs, appliances that are dying, strata and HOA fees, closing costs on realtors when you're selling, and the opportunity costs of the huge down payment that you could have invested. So here's a different way of thinking about it. Imagine 2 versions of you. Version A buys the house. You put a huge chunk of cash as a down payment. Your monthly ownership is about, after mortgage and HOA, is about $3,500. You feel proud. I'm finally an owner. But you're locked in, becoming more complicated and more expensive. And version B, you rent a similar place for, let's say, $2,000. Instead of stretching yourself, you invest the other $1,500 difference every month into a simple, diverse portfolio. And over 10, 20, 30 years, those investments compound. You stay flexible, you can change jobs, cities, even countries, without dealing with a house that you have to sell or rent out. Which version is throwing money away? Well, the answer is it depends on the math and on your ideal life vision, not the slogans. There's nothing wrong with buying a home. It can be an amazing lifestyle choice. The problem is buying by default, assuming that's automatically the best financial move. For a lot of middle income earners, especially in the expensive cities, the numbers quietly say that renting plus serious investing beats owning this particular place. So before you let social pressure push you into the biggest purchase decision in your life, run these 2 checks. One is time tests. Am I willing to stay here for at least 10 years? If not, transaction costs and risk go all the way up. And number 2, spreadsheet tests. Over 20 plus years, which path give you a higher net worth? Buy and own or rent and invest? Until you've done these 2 tests, do not buy a house. So if the path isn't to buy as much house as the bank would allow, then what is it? For most people, wealth comes from 3 boring, repeatable steps. Number 1 is design your ideal life first. Write it down, be specific. How many days a week do you want to work? How often do you want to travel and where? What does a perfect Saturday look like? And how much time is genuinely free when there's no shifts, no side gigs, and no email? If freedom is your answer, what does freedom look like on your calendar? That vision becomes the filter for every money decision. Does this mortgage, this car, this subscription move me towards or away from that life? Number 2, fix your cash flow buckets. Take those 4 buckets and adjust them over the next 6 to 12 months. That might mean a slightly cheaper place, 1 fewer car, or killing subscriptions that nobody uses. Gradually increase the automatic contributions until you're investing a serious percentage of your income. And spend more on what you truly love and aggressively cutting what you don't care about. This is how you stop feeling deprived and start feeling intentional. Set up a simple system so the right thing would happen without the willpower. Paychecks that hit your main account should be transferred to investment accounts every month. And whatever's left for you to spend, just spend it guilt-free. The wealthy thing here is not the fancy investment products. It's about boring consistencies. Most people never get ahead not because they're stupid with money, it's because their system relies on them being perfectly disciplined every month. And automation removes that requirement. Let's bring this home. You don't have to buy into a story that adulthood equals maximum mortgage and maximum stress. You can choose a different path. Define what your ideal life in vivid details. Structure your money into 4 simple categories. Question the norm that says you must buy a house. Use monthly automatic transfers and boring investing skills to quietly build wealth in that background. If you found this helpful, here's what you should do next. Pause this video and do a 4 bucket list audit for the last month. You can comment below with one of the categories that you want to change first. It can be your housing, debt, investment, or your guilt-free spending. Hit subscribe if you want to learn more about Canadian-friendly practical breakdowns like these with real numbers, real trade-offs. Because at the end of the day, the goal is not to impress people with a house that you secretly regret. Pause this video and do your 4 category check last month. And comment below, what's the 1 category that you really want to change first? Is it your housing, debt, investment, or your free money spending? Hit the subscribe button if you want to learn more friendly, practical breakdown like these. At the end of the day, the goal is not to impress people with a house that you secretly regret, but the goal is to build a life that you don't need a vacation from, and let money quietly support that life instead of running it.